Hello. How is everybody this evening? I've never done anything like this remotely before, as you can see. Right? Um, my name's James Leslie. I live in Norwich. I sit here and I look at the world, and I've looked at it for quite a few years, and it's done a smack of being planned a long, long time. And I first started looking at possible depression heading our way around 2004 time. And back then I see everything just in numbers as in terms of markets, but not markets, just particularly gold and silver. In January 1980, the average English house price was £21,000. An ounce of gold cost £425, and an ounce of silver cost £25. Now, if you do the maths, it cost just over 50 ounces of gold to buy the average British house in January 1980. Now, this is an absolute extreme, because from that time onwards, gold hit its top and then slid all the way back down. If you go back and look at 1971, up until 1971, money was all printed out and based on gold. After the Vietnamese War, where they printed out far too much paper to pay for the war, which they didn't have the gold to, they abandoned the gold standard. Now, for years as a kid, you go to watch your parents' middle-class dinner parties, yeah? And they're all talking houses, 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 the price of a house, buy a house, yeah? And you sit there and you delve back and you think, well, hang on a minute. In 1971, the average United Kingdom house was £6,000. As I said, by January 1980, it floated all the way up to £21,000. Yeah, it's gone up by 3.5 times. Gold was £14.10 in August 1971. It went all the way to £425. And it went up times 30. Now it just went up just over times 3. But yet, you've got a whole generation of people just going, houses, houses, houses. And at one of those little parties when I was younger, did you ever hear anybody who bought gold? Not one of them, ever. So you sit there, times go by, and you think, there's something out of this market, you know. Turn of the century houses have like basically doubled overnight, yeah? And you sit there and think, something's not right. Yeah? So, around 2004 time, I thought, sod this. The printing that's going to happen everything, yeah? You're not going to be able to work things out in money. You're going to have to use something else to work things out. So, 2004, I started working out everything to like gold. It was like gold and milk, gold and various things for years have stayed the same. And the extreme of January 1980 is January 2006. So things have gone so much the other way, from a house costing 50 ounces of gold in January 1980, with the same house, same bricks, the same gold. January 2006, the average English house was very nearly £200,000. An ounce of gold was £250, meaning that the United Kingdom houses bought 800 ounces of gold to buy. Same house as in 1980. Silver was even more down. £25 a pop, 21,000, that's 4 for 100. 40 for 1,000, 2140. It's 840 ounces of silver for the average UK house in January 1980. The same house, in fact, probably a tad smaller because their averages, yeah? The same house in January 2006, silver was £4 an ounce. The average house was 200,000. House in silver cost 50,000 ounces of silver. I was saying, look, everyone thinks you're mad, you're cuckoo. No, I told everybody, everyone I could, what's going to happen. And it did, as eggs. Because it's been planned. It's been planned ages. Since 1971, they knew we'd arrive today, here, be all as Duke. And I looked at it through banking to start with. but goes beyond banking, goes beyond loads of things. I mean, are we controlled? Is there something out there, a ruling elite, and what spins off it, that have been not just controlling us today, but the entire lengths of history? So I think that a lot of things are controlled by Freemasonry, and I think secrecy is bad. I think things should be open, should live in a more open world. I don't necessarily think anything that we see or touch or feel is necessarily that real. There's other things going on. There's lots of mind control, lots of brainwashing going on to an utter extreme. I mean, look at this bollocks about aliens. Huh? Aliens. Are you serious? Yeah, a man could make up crap in a lab, but it don't come from up there, does it? Huh? Aliens. One reason. Some war coming. Yeah? Bit like Bin Laden. I mean, apart from this stupid scream, who is he? What was he? Did he even exist? Is he just a Batman character on a screen? Huh? They play some sort of mind war. If we can get away with this TV stuff, yeah, and convince them that this geezer's doing this stuff, yeah, they'd buy anything. They'd buy aliens. So then we can have a war with aliens, yeah? You know, they've got the technology now. They could do a hell of a light sharp in the sky. Loads of people could dupe to it. Aliens, yeah? But you start a war with aliens that aren't there in the first place, how does it ever end? That's the only reason for aliens. Never ending war. Yeah? So, crazy, you know, I have some crazy thoughts, crazy ideas on where we're at, what we're doing, yeah? And it's not everybody's cup of tea, and you know, proof, what's proof? Proof is off a book, or a computer, or newspaper. But basically proof only comes from media. Yeah? And media, like everything else, government, they're just puppets of other things. The whole of life, what we're watching, is just Punch and Judy. Yeah? You're all sitting there looking at Punch and Judy, and you don't suss there's some geezer there pulling the strings at another level. Yeah? Now what? Freemasonry, whatever it's associates or whatever the whole bigger thing is, you call it Illuminati, whatever you want. You know what I mean? Yeah? Now, I've looked through history of the dates, yeah? And Skull and Bones is the numbers 322. Now, I've looked at lots of dates through history where there's a reoccurrence 322 years later. Yeah? Now, in 1320, the Treaty of Arbroath was signed for an independent Scotland, for a Knights Templar Scotland at the Treaty of Arbroath. 322 years later, the same names on the same treaty were the heads of the Civil War in England. 24th of July 1411 was a battle called Red Harlaw in Scottish history. 322 years to the week, the United States of America didn't even exist. But a place called America got its first Freemasonry lodges. There are quite a few instances in history which link 322 years apart. In 1611, a Bible was written by James I and Francis Bacon. Now, I have no proof of any stuff I say. I just have my own ideas and my own thoughts. So don't quote me on them, yeah? I believe that Francis Bacon has a dual personality, and is in fact another man as well. He's called Bill Shakespeare, known to you as William Shakespeare. Now, everything that appears to be happening in this world at the moment seems to be written down in some form by William Shakespeare. Midsummer's Night Dream, eh? Right. 1644, 2nd of July, Midsummer's Night, Marston Moor. 2nd of July, the Battle of Saratoga, 1777. 2nd of July 1934, Night of the Long Knives. There are various dates in history all over the show that are very esoteric. Now, esoteric is a hidden word in itself, because within the word it has the word Rosic. So really, it's not an esoteric agenda, it's a Rosic agenda. Now, Rosic comes from the name Ross, and Ross links back to Scotland. In 1067, some people arrive in a boat in Scotland who turn out to be the highest Freemasonry organisation in the world in their day. And on that boat are somebody called William Sinclair, someone called Bartholomew Ladislaus Leslin, and somebody called St. Queen Margaret Drummond. Now, their children, within a generation, all became the kings of England. Within 250 years, they are the Knights Templars who turn up at Bannockburn. But they've come from somewhere else in 1067 to Scotland. And there's loads of interesting history about hidden stuff to do with this place, Scotland, from 1067. Which I ramble on loads of rubbish. I'm just sitting there talking to myself. I sit on Facebook, I just sit there and write anything that comes into my head. I believe in first thought a lot. Your first thought is not touched with. You see, everything else, it can be manipulated. You know, like years ago, your ancestors sat and looked at a fire. Yeah, they're tired of sitting looking at a fire, tripping out, yeah, looking at a fire. But they just trip out on their own thought, don't they? Yeah. Whereas now, when you trip out in front of a computer, a television, you trip out on somebody else's bloody thought that's planted in your head, don't you? Yeah. So much so you can't even, loads of people can't even think for themselves. Yeah. So I rely on first thought quite a lot. Because I think it's pure, it's gut, yeah? My gut is whatever made me. Whoever is me from the past is what made my first instinct. And I rely on my first instinct a lot. It's not always right, wouldn't live or die on it, but I trust it a lot. Yeah? Now, Monsanto, right? Monsanto is growing loads of alien crops around the world, which harm the land and do loads of terrible things. Monsanto, to me, is a link to one of the names that's on this boat coming to Scotland in 1067. Because to me, Monsanto has this link to this name, Santa Clara. And Santa Clara will be Sinclair. Now, in English history, there was a year called 1089. 33 times 33 is 1089. And it's called Harrowing of the North. And it's when the Normans went to the north of England and they did genocide and they put salt on the whole of the land. And they couldn't use it for 25 years. And a really harsh winter, nothing, starvation. At the end of it all, they started eating each other. Huh? Monsanto, Santa Clara, is very linked to the same things and the same things from all the way back there. There are hundreds of them. The expression Scotland the Brave, yeah, is really a hidden Mason thing back from Bannockburn and beyond, from the families of where they came from before they came to Scotland, from Hungary. And it's not Scotland the Brave, it's St. Andras the Brave. And St. Andras is part of this Rosic esoteric agenda. Now, I'll leave you for now, because I've only got 15 minutes and I'm running out. So, I'll speak to you soon. I could waffle on fucking hours, eh? You have a good night, and nice to see you. Bye-bye.